Human-robot interaction imply that robots somehow know and adhere to the social norms we humans use in our conversations, in our relations. And I don't know if you're aware of it, but distance is one of those social norms. And proxemics is not really a discipline that comes from robotics, but it comes from the area of anthropology. And proxemics is how people take up space in relation to others and the influence of the distance and that use of space in our attitudes and behaviors. In a classical, well-known study by Hall and colleagues, they defined four distance zones for, let's say, distances we use in the relations to others. And the distance we use, the distance zones we are, is somehow an indication of psychological closeness with the people we are relating. As I said, they define four zones. First zone is the intimate zone. It comes from a few centimeters up to half a meter. And as you can imagine, it is used for close personal relationships and also for the exchange of private information. The second zone is the personal zone. It goes from half a meter to 1.2 meters. And it's the distance we usually use with friends, relatives, or partners. Third zone is the social zone. It goes from 1.2 meters up to 4 meters. And we use it usually with colleagues, with acquaintances. And finally, we have the public zone. The public zone is used in personal situations, such as, for example, public speaking. But it is important to note that people use distances differently depending on the culture they are. For example, usually in South America, distances are shorter than, for example, in North America. And when we apply that to robots, we find that according to some studies, people prefer that robots position in the personal or the social zone. And it is important the distance, not only, let's say, for the common conversation, but also because of safety. It is important that when a robot moves its arm or its handle, let's say, a piece, the people, doesn't have a feeling of danger. I won't go into much detail in the technical aspects of proxemics in the case of robots, but I'd say, for example, they need to know where the robots are and where the people is. So they use localization just to know where they are. And they use usually information coming from distance or depth sensors and also cameras and computer vision to apply object detection so that they know where people is. They can even know the location of body parts, such as, for example, an arm, and what is very important, where the people is looking at. There is an ongoing research in this area of proxemics. It's not a simple one, and I won't go much deeper, but I want you to be conscious of the importance of this concept of distance and proxemics in human-robot interactions, human-robot relations, not specifically, for example, in the industrial environments, but it is very important for social robots and specifically humanoid robots.